What's up, everyone? It's your boy Scott. Welcome to the Scott Reports. Today I'm bringing you an anime review of Kokkoku episode 5, and this series hands down has the best cliffhangers of winter 2018 because once again we are left at the edge of our seat. We're left with someone else's life hanging at the balance, and we're left at that point once again where we're like, no, why did you end it right here? But the whole point of cliffhangers is so you come back next week. But it's time to get into something that is becoming maybe more apparent than me that everybody else has probably saw about this series already, and it's just kicking in to me because my personal enjoyment to it is that at first I was initially intrigued by the mystery and the lack of knowledge that everybody has about the Heralds and the stasis and everything that's going on in this series. But now I'm beginning to get a little bit vexed that we're not getting answers and what could pretty much be assumed that this is the halfway point of the series going into next week's, which should be episode 6, because we don't know if we're getting 12 episodes or 24 episodes of this series yet. And for the cast to still be doing like this, just like we are as far as the answers and what's going on in this world and in the stasis, it's becoming a bit of a pain point because I'm an anime only. I haven't read the manga for this series yet, but what I fear is going to happen is that by the time we finally do get to the answers of what's going on, like the intentions of this church group, it's either going to come at us all at once and it's going to feel very rushed or poorly executed, or it just feel like it's not going to be enough time to execute that properly and it's going to seem like it came out of nowhere, or I just feel like it's going to fall flat once we finally do get the true intentions of Sagawa, whatever his name is. I have to look at it, but Sagawa, that's right, Sagawa. Once we get to his true intentions of what he's trying to do in this stasis, I just feel like in the end it's going to end up being megalomaniac, and I don't know how I feel about that. I hope they clean that up soon. I mean, I need to know what he's trying to do besides take over the world, which I can just assume he's trying to do right now because it's not clear. But at the very least, we are getting answers in baby steps, and at the very least, we now know Majima's purpose in this series. So Majima was caught in the stasis 17 years ago, back when Juri and Gramps had their incident where the dog died and she lashed out and found out her abilities. And at that same time, that is when it looks like her family had possession of a stone as well, and her name is Shoko. Yeah, her name is Shoko Majima. She was in the backseat with her little brother, you know, arguing over the stone. He was a little jackass. He straight up punched her in the face trying to get the stone back, and you know, the parents broke it up, and when he cried, you know, his tears activated this stone, and it seems like when that happened at the same time as when Gramps was activating the stasis spell to freeze everything. But we've seen something very different with Majima's side of the family, because we've seen these specters possess people, but it was mostly just kind of like a, you know, mindless state type of possession, but for the most part they gain consciousness and remember who they are. This time with the possession of her family, the specters completely took her family over, and it almost seems like they came out of that stone, it seems. So maybe that's the purpose of theirs that they had. Is there's a third stone, or is this the same stone that the Grace Love have? See, that's another thing that's kind of confusing right now. But when her family was possessed, instead of, you know, them keeping themselves and just going on about their business within the stasis, they were completely possessed, like the specter was talking for them, and they went up into the air, and her mother, her father, and her little brother all dissipated into dust. And we know that the longer you're in the stasis is when you become a herald, and that became a little bit more clear in this episode. Is what Majima wants to do is she actually wants to use Juri to find her parents and her little brother and expel them while they're in herald form in hopes of getting them back outside the stasis, which is kind of weird because you would think that it's been so long that that won't work, but she still has that hope, and that's what she wants to do. And when Juri ran into her when she was a little girl, she was shocked to see somebody else was within the stasis. So one thing I like about the story is Juri's intelligence, but that's something that's kind of weird because even as a little girl, how did she learn that power so quick and knew that somebody was in the stasis unless I know Gramps told her about it before, but for her to be so young and to completely understand that and be fully aware of what she was doing with her abilities kind of makes me wonder, is this ability that she's using, is she possessed as well, just less violently than the people who became the Heralds are? Because that's an interesting point. And also, she very well remembers Majima as well, and maybe it was just some type of traumatic effect that she didn't remember it right away, because just last week she was saying that was something that was trapped within her, or at least Gramps was saying that was like a traumatizing event that she doesn't remember anymore. But now she 100% remembers who Majima is. So that's bringing up kind of the tension between them, because she's looking back then like, what was she doing here? Now this girl has her family. So that's gonna kind of bring some things in between them, even though now we see where Majima's intentions lie. She really just wants to get her family back. She doesn't care about what these people are doing. But that's another pain point of the series, is that we don't know what Sagawa is up to. What is this Grace Love Church or whatever they're called? What are they up to? What are their plans? What are their intentions? All we know is that they keep trying to do test after test after test in order to try to get these heroes to come up. And she actually did find her family in this episode, because when they were doing another test again to kill somebody that was stalled, the heroes that came up actually had articles of clothing that was from her family. So they're still there, they still exist, and that's upping her motivation to try to sneak behind this guy's back and get to Jury. And it looks like one of the goons are actually gonna try to help her do it. He's probably gonna die, you know how it goes. But now that she knows her family's there, she knows how to locate them, possibly how to summon them, I think we're about to see a heel turn. Well, not heel turn, a face turn from Majima, because she's probably going to get to Jury. She's going to explain what's going on. You got to help me find my family. And we just might get some answers of what's going on. And of course, Jury's intelligence shines through once again, and she gets more and more and more badass. And I just eagerly await the episode where she's going to learn how to teleport too. And she was smart enough to go back home and leave a message for Tsubasa and Makoto to say, you know, if you come back home, stay put. There's some people out there. I'm going to go get Dad, who's an idiot. I mean, come on, this guy really doesn't trust these guys, do we? And it was good that they got him and said, look, they're playing you, Dad. Come on, get your butt out of here before we all get killed. But unfortunately, it might be too late, because, you know, Tsubasa was trailed, and now he's stabbed, and we don't know his fate right now unless you watch the preview, which probably didn't spoil anything, but at the same time it probably did. But that was the episode in a nutshell, at least giving us a full spectrum of Majima and what she's after in this series. But there's still a lot that they need to answer, and I fear we're running out of time to actually do that. So I can kind of see why people feel a little bit lukewarm on this series or want to wait until it ends, because it's getting to the point where it feels like the payoff is going to be a little bit of a letdown. But we'll just have to see. I'm still very interested in the series, and I can't wait to see how it goes. Again, I would be okay if it's 24 episodes, but if it's 12, hey, it'll be a nice contained story, because it looks like at this point, this entire story is going to take place in this little moment of time in the stasis, with Jury just trying to get her family back instead of spreading off into something big. And now that you have Majima into it, who will be our answer to the heroes and what's going on, or possibly how you can solve something somehow. And again, I don't know if she had a third stone her family did, or if this is the same stone that the Grace Love have. We'll just have to find out. So guys, let me know what you thought of this episode and its series in the comments below. If you liked the video, go ahead and drop it a like, and if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as there's not a shortage of content for you to indulge on this channel. And as I always say, you guys can eat anywhere on YouTube right now. You chose to listen to me. I really appreciate that, so thanks for stopping by. On that note, it's your boy Scott signing out. See you soon.